Fake smoke?
Place a yeah, nice, dude.
I'm gonna put
Let's try this.
stun behind it and the sucky thing close.
Alright.
Knock it, pulling them in!
What?
One enemy remaining.
Oh my god.
Like, already mastering
That
that.
was so
Nice,
good.
dude.
That was so good.
It's so good, little.
Check me then, eh? That should work.
He smoked mid this time.
Concealment!
Oh, 1A.
Pulling them
One
in!
was running 8, running B.
So, the new Agent Astra will be coming to Valorant, and a lot of people may be asking, or it could just be me, but will Astra break Valorant? In this video, I'll be breaking down everything to do with Astra, firstly going over her abilities, then I'll move on to showing some cool Wombo combos you can pull off, followed by some gameplay, and finally answering that question you all want to know, will Astra break Valorant? Also known as, did I find any exploits? Now let's jump straight into a game with Astra. The first thing you'll notice are these star orbs on the bottom of the screen. They're an indicator of how many orbs you have in your inventory to place on the map. And it's very important to keep in mind how many star orbs you have so you can decide on which abilities you want to use. In order for Astra to use her abilities, you need to work around the star orbs you have. So the first thing you'll do when playing Astra is go into your astral form, allowing you to place star orbs anywhere across the map. There's no range on this, so you can literally support your teammates from no matter where you are. And once you have placed the orbs, you can then start to use Astra's abilities. You must keep in mind that the enemy can see these orbs on the floor, however, they're not going to know which ability you're about to use. You can also pick up these orbs once placing them, which you should keep in mind for later on in this video. The orbs can only be picked up once the round has started, so any pre-round setups can't be reverted until the round has begun. It's important to note that you can put the star orbs past the enemy spawn barriers, so you can do some pretty aggressive combos, which I'll show later on in the video. The enemy, however, can see the orb 2 seconds before the round starts. But I personally believe in the first week or so, people aren't going to adjust and you're going to get some pretty nasty results.
Out of the charges.
Still just looking at me, yeah, nice.
It worked. Now moving on to her abilities. Astra's first ability is her gravity well, aka the black hole, or as we all seem to call it in game, the sucky thing. And once they are sucked in, they will also receive a vulnerability debuff, taking increased damage, similar to Killjoy's alarm bot. You have to keep in mind when you play with an Astra, you can get sucked into your own teammate's gravity well, and let's just say I did that a few times. I got sucked into it.
Heaven.
No bad. The next ability Astra has is called Nova Pulse. This detonates one of your stars into a stun. You must keep in mind that it takes a second or so to activate before stunning your enemy, but it's quite strong for post-plant opportunities.
Find me.
Confusing.
I'm knocking them.
Nice.
But it's also extremely strong to either attack or retake sites, as you can clear corners with it.
Concealment.
30 seconds left.
I face one. I kill him.
Moving on to one of Astra's main abilities, called Nebula, and this transfers one of your star orbs into a smoke. You get 2 charges of this with a 15-second cooldown, so you can smoke 2 places at once. And with the 5 star orbs you get, you can do a total of 5 smokes in 1 round, but that's only if you don't decide to use either her stun or gravity well. And I'm not gonna lie, there's just something different about those smokes which make them look so good. Anyway, it's important to keep in mind that you can use those star orbs in one-way positions, just like you would do with Omen or Brimstone.
Blocking vision. Obscuring vision.
Finally, you have Astra's ultimate ability, known as Cosmic Divide. This allows you to divide up the map, basically creating a huge wall which you can't shoot through. You can, however, pass through it and throw your abilities through it, but you'll have to keep in mind that the audio becomes muffled, and you are barely able to hear anything on the other side. A good example of this is that you're able to divide Bind, where you can teleport without them knowing. Now, before we move on to the combos you can do with other agents, I'll just show you a few pre-round setups I like to do for both attacking and defending. The first one I'm showing is when attacking on Haven on A site. I like to smoke both CT and Heaven, then I like to use the other two orbs to stun close left and suck in the guy backside. This makes sure the player backside can't support his teammate when he's stunned. Now moving on to my go-to attack setup on Ascent A site. I like to smoke Switch and Heaven, but then I like to place a stun on Jenny and a sucky thing on the close right. This is so the guy tucked in the corner will get dragged out, and then the guy on Jenny will be stunned so he won't be able to support him. Finally, before we move on to the Wombo combos, I'd like to quickly show you a defense-sided approach on Bind B site. I like to smoke both Hookah and Long, but in those smokes I'll place another orb, one slightly further back on Long and one underneath Hookah. This means that the enemy jumping down out a Hookah window will get caught in the gravity well, and the guys pushing Long will be stunned, allowing you to pick off the guy's Hookah easily. Now it's time to move on to the Ash Rays. So if you watch that back, you can see I smoked the left side of short, and then I stunned and sucked them in on the right side, making it an easy shot for Raze to land her ulti. However, Astra isn't just good for aggressive plays, she can combine well with Killjoy and a Nano Swarm. It also combines extremely well with Breach, and if you know people tend to play the same corner every round, you can pick up an easy kill combined with his Aftershock. So, they were just a few combos you can do with Astra. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see a full video of this, and I'll be sure to make one when Astra is released. Anyway, now I'm going to show you a few minutes of some Astra gameplay before we move on to that ultimate question. Did I find any Astra exploits?
No.
Yesterday, yesterday.
Rise
We
and
got
bring
first sucked
glory.
by the Astra shield, and then the Raze healed us, like she did like a triple of quadra.
Yeah.
Concealment.
I forgot to put my alarm up.
Oh, top mid.
Okay.
Top mid, Killjoy turret.
Nice. I think it's
Okay, I
heavy.
don't see anyone there.
Yeah, it's heavy, eh?
Blasting them.
Flash out!
It's like, oh, I know it's A now. It's a
Yeah.
flashback.
Scout just
Wait, I've got another thing in a second.
Blinding!
pulling them in.
One enemy remaining.
No,
God.
I am
Like
So
bullying.
good.
I don't approve of this.
time for a field test.
Nah, you could also use an alpha.
Right
I'm gonna stun that.
Cutting through.
Have an Odin somewhere. Backside is clear. CT1. Can I get it?
Blocking vision.
Okay, can I get it?
Need
Oh,
that back.
don't worry.
Placing alarm bot.
One CT.
I put the black hole on him.
Pulling them in.
One enemy remaining.
That was so sick. Just grabbed them both.
Get
Stood on top of the elevator.
Pulling them in.
I'll see ya.
Nice.
Be careful, they got
Plant the spike.
Cutting their vision.
I'm coming.
Obscuring concealment. Pulling them in.
Oh my god.
It drags you with the bomb. But you still bomb.
No, what's behind? No, dueling.
That's a
Flashing
stop.
here.
Concealment.
One enemy remaining.
Nice. Oh my god.
Yeah, like side, like they will have to jump through the wall. You guys just have to set up with the wall. I'm doing it now. Is my Rubit with you?
I
think
just
they're rushing A.
rushing A.
That's really pretty.
Go on A, sure.
I can black hole. We're all stunned. We're all stunned.
Oh wait, you can't shoot through this, right?
Coming.
Spike down A.
I'm putting one on the spike.
One enemy remaining.
Wait, I gotta kill him.
That was sick.
Oh, sorry, dude.
So good. So good. That wall was really cool. I didn't realize you can't shoot through it.
We couldn't hear them on the other side, right?
No.
It's kind of weird.
One enemy remaining.
Now it's time to move on to the final question. Will Astra break Valorant? So my initial thoughts of Astra is that she'll take a lot of time for people to both master and adapt to. I personally believe that she requires a lot of brain power and good coordination with your team, so I do feel like lower ranks players will struggle with her, and I'm not going to lie, in competitive as well it will be quite frustrating. However, when put in the right hands, her toolkit is unrivaled to any other controller. This is because you can easily clear corners and execute strats. So I'm very excited to see how pros play Astra and how they adapt to the star robes placed on the floor as well. And when briefly talking to Sabrosa about his initial thoughts, he said that Astra will be the go-to in the pro scene. Anyway, that's enough about my opinion. It's time to finally answer the question. Did I find any exploits? So myself and Flo tried a few things, including Sage Walls with Orbs and the Cosmic Divide. However, we found that Astra's toolkit may look insane, but it didn't actually seem to assist you in any out the map bugs you see myself and Flo doing. However, there was one spot we did come across. This was on Ascent, so you could essentially stun the people both in heaven and under heaven, so this definitely didn't seem like it was intentional by Riot, as it affects 2 areas in one. So this was just one place you could place a star orb in a really overpowered position, and it was definitely something I think Riot are going to fix in the future. To conclude this video and my thoughts on Astra, I don't believe she will break Valorant in terms of exploits, however she'll most likely break my win ratio in competitive. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on for more Astra gameplay in the upcoming days. You won't want to miss it.